My name is Tom Scriven, and I serve as head of RPCK's Denver office and senior counsel with the firm. The project I'll be talking about today is the CHI Equity Capital Fund and its tenant equity vehicle and impact carry structure. The CHI Fund aims to address the reality that the tight housing market and the pandemic combined to put workers across the income spectrum under severe economic stress, disproportionately affecting BIPOC households and workers in critical service occupations. Weave Social Finance founded the Colorado Housing Accelerator Initiative, or CHI, for the purpose of speeding the delivery of mission-driven capital to middle-income and workforce housing. Wealth-building opportunities for tenants of funded housing units soon emerged as an additional essential component of Weave's mission. Colorado has a housing shortfall of about 127,000 units. Meanwhile, rental units are unaffordable, meaning that rent payments exceed 30% of household income for more than 50% of the population in most cities and towns across Colorado. Access to stable, affordable housing is just the first step toward financial stability and wealth building. Enabling tenants to set aside funds for emergencies, long-term savings, and eventual home ownership, as well as providing tenants with education and accessible financial services, are key components of CHI's mission. In response to these problems, CHI's founders sought to create a truly equitable real estate investment structure that A, adapts the traditional private equity fund model to a social impact mission by aligning financial incentives with impact objectives, and B, addresses the disparity in access to wealth-building mechanisms between renters and owners. CHI's approach includes two notable innovations. First, the pioneering Tenant Equity Vehicle, or TEV, allows residents of affordable housing units to share in the financial returns of the CHI funds. Investors in CHI's equity fund have committed a significant portion, typically 50% or even 100% of the returns on their investments that exceed specified thresholds to the TEV. CHI's debt fund, for its part, contributes a portion of interest spread income earned on loans toward the TEV. The tenant equity vehicle will fund individual accounts on behalf of eligible residents of units funded by CHI, and disbursements from these accounts may be used by tenants to build financial security and a path to home ownership. Thus, the TEV allows tenants of funded housing units to share with investors in the returns realized by the fund, as well as to advance their financial and other personal advancement goals. CHI's second innovation is the equity fund's unique impact carry component. This structure increases the general partner's carried interest upon the achievement of a target average affordability level of the housing units financed by the CHI Equity Fund. On the other hand, the GP's carried interest is susceptible to a decrease if the target affordability level of funded housing units is not achieved. The impact carry thus provides an incentive for Weave, as the equity fund's manager, to remain true to and optimize the fund's investment strategy for the realization of the impact objectives marketed to fund investors. CHI's impact carry was structured as a counterbalance to the incentive that a traditional carried interest creates for the fund manager to maximize financial returns, which in this case could lead to the CHI funds overweighting the portfolio toward less affordable projects. The general partner is, of course, only entitled to carried interest once the fund generates a positive return to limited partners. Thus, both affordability and profitability of the fund's investments must be achieved as a condition to the general partner collecting an impact carry. RPCK Rastegar Panchal serves as fund formation regulatory counsel to Weave and the CHI funds. In this capacity, we designed and incorporated the TEV and impact carry structure as integral components of the CHI funds and the terms of investments in these funds. Our team has represented CHI since its inception and from the initial design phase of the CHI debt and equity funds. The concept of an impact carry in particular presented challenges and complexity which required consideration of tax, regulatory, and economic implications for the fund, its managers, and investors. The RPCK team worked with Ed Briscoe and Abby Murray of the Weave team to address risk allocation and the sharing of rewards and costs between investors and the fund manager in a way that could be presented with minimal complexity to investors. The Weave team initially conceptualized the TEV and the impact carry structures and the RPCK team worked with our client to refine these concepts and address tax, regulatory, and other legal considerations. Our team, including members of our fund formation, tax, and compliance teams, incorporated these innovative mechanisms into the legal documentation for the CHI funds and negotiated their terms with investors. In the process, we observed positive feedback from investors who welcomed the alignment that the impact carry creates between their dual interests of realizing an attractive financial return on their investment and contributing to affordable housing solutions for middle income and workforce households. The TEV enables investors to take their impact commitment further through sharing a portion of their investment returns with tenants of funded housing units to support their financial security and wealth creation goals. The TEV has garnered attention not only of investors, but also of legislators and Colorado voters who, last November, approved Proposition 123, a measure that dedicates approximately $300 million annually to affordable housing development and related programs and the tenant equity vehicle. In closing, the CHI Impact Carry structure offers a hopefully straightforward and thus replicable model for aligning a fund manager's incentives with impact investors in a manner that encourages appropriate balancing by a fund manager of financial returns and impact outcomes. And the TEV serves as a model for either a standalone initiative or add-on to an investment fund structure, real estate project, or other initiative targeting financial security and wealth creation among beneficiary communities.